I have Pistol Loke. What up, Pistol?
What's up with it?
Nothing much, man. Appreciate you joining the program.
Oh yeah, no problem, no problem. I appreciate, I appreciate this myself,
Cool. Yeah, man. Well, let's take it all the way back. I want to go all the way back, before gangbang or anything even started on your end. But tell everybody where you grew up.
Okay, I grew up in Akron, Ohio. I was born in 1976, and in '87, when I was 11, my mom found out the climate was better for children with asthma, and to move to California. So we had family out there. So she decided, pack up everything, and we moved out there.
Okay. Was it a shock to you, a little culture shock, or did you kind of adapt well?
It was a big shock because it's completely different from where I just came from. It's they out here. So I try to tell them out here, like, it's like a fad out here. Compared to out there, it's very, very real, and it's like being a part of the basketball team or the football team. You do it because you get tired of people coming through your neighborhood shooting, and you want to be a part of the people who go retaliate. So, and I had some problems also because I was a good fighter. I used to box, and I would whoop on guys in the ring, and one particular set took I whooped, like we jumped him, like me and the ref jumped him or something. So yeah. So I ended up getting some help. First, I got some help from some Grace Streets. They helped me, Grace Street Watts, and Cuz got locked up, so I ran to some Front Streets, and they helped me, and and the rest was history.
And when you say they helped you, what do you mean?
I mean, they were trying. It was a Mexican set, and they were trying to, jump me. They were shooting at me.
Okay.
Yeah, it got real ugly, and the shooting at me was. I mean, they could have hit me. They was trying to scare me. But then it got more serious because they started, putting hands on me, and I'm getting jumped and going around them. They're like, "What happened to you?" And and so they helped me go back and holler at them. I hung out in Jordan Downs projects, and that's just. I was talking about that earlier today with one of my Facebook friends, because I remember his face. I kept looking at his face like, "Man, did you hang out in Jordan Downs and 88, 89, 90, 91?" And he's like, "Oh yeah." He's like, "Yeah, I definitely did." And I was like, "Okay, I may not always remember names. I remember faces though. Even though he's older, he still looks like he did. He just look older. Got gray hair and yeah."
Damn. Well, shit. What a time to move to LA specifically. I mean, we're right in the middle of the crack era. We're right in the middle of gangbanging at its height. Anybody who grew up in the 80s and 90s, whether you were gangbanging or not, if you were just a civilian and you were able to survive that time, you're a warrior. It was a different LA, a different LA than what we know now. But take me back to what you kind of remember about the crack era and just even when the gangbanging was at its height.
Oh man, it was real bad. Like you said, with crack, when crack being on the streets made it even worse. It was already bad with the gangs, and the crack just made it a whole lot worse because, I mean, it was survival. You had to survive. I mean, walking to school in the morning and walking home from school was sometimes a task. You run into so-called enemies, and they get at you or you get at them.
Yeah.
And it was real bad. I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot of people get shot. I've seen a lot of LAPD do a lot of ill things that I didn't think was real until I seen it with my own eyes. They were vicious. Damn. They were vicious toward gang members.
Yeah.
Very.
Yeah, that crash.
The crash unit was. Yeah, they were sick in the head, man. Seriously, I was 13 and 14 when the police put their hands on me. Like, and didn't arrest me. They whooped my ass, took my gun, didn't arrest me.
Wow.
You know, yeah. And we had a couple of situations where they whooped on us and they dropped us off in different neighborhoods where they knew if we probably wouldn't make it back from.
Yep. A famous scene in Menace to Society that really happened.
Oh yeah. And it didn't happen just once in a while. It happened a lot. You know, I wasn't the only one. We wasn't the only ones it happened to. You know, I was cool with a lot of gang members, even from other sets, and I would hear the same shit from them. You know, Gray Streets and Main Streets, East Coast, just stories of how they would, you know, whoop on you and drop you off in enemy territory, and you had to, you know, make it out of there alive. I was fortunate. A couple of times it happened to me. I was fortunate.
That's terrible.
I had people in the area I knew. And it's funny, I was at a family reunion and I met a guy at a family reunion, and come to find out, you know, he was a Piru. So when they beat his ass and dropped us off in Compton, he just happened to be driving down the street that day and seen me.
Whoa.
Grabbed me and my homie up, put us in the car, and got us up out of there.
Something else I heard that they used to do also was they would, you know, go to, let's say, a blood set, holler out a Crip hood, start shooting, you know, and do vice versa just to kind of get wars going on. I heard a couple of OGs explain that to me in the past.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they did that. They would go through with spray paint, cross out gangs, and put other gang names. Yeah, oh yeah.
And they do it because that's job security for them. I mean, as long as you guys are fighting, they have a job. And there's money in black you know, crime and criminality and things like that.
Right. Oh yeah. And they were just very racist, viciously racist.
Yeah, and there were stories. Yeah. I've heard stories also of government agencies dropping off crates of automatic weapons in the hood back in the 80s. You know, leaving trains open with just a bunch of guns. You know, so people can grab them and do the thing in the street.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I was out there when that shit was happening. So, yeah, you are absolutely right. That's exactly what happened. Doggone train just sitting still. And so they went, you know, investigate, see what's going on, see what's in it. And, yeah, it's full of guns and ammo. And, yeah. There were cops that would tell gang members, like, look, if y'all hit the surplus, you know, for the guns, we'll make sure ain't no cops around. Wow. And, you know, and they would actually hit them spots and get the guns, and they were right. Nobody stopped them. Nobody stopped them. Police never came. You know, it was all get them weapons on the streets so we can keep our war going. That basically what they wanted to fuel our war. You know what I'm saying? They wanted to help us, kill us.
Man, yeah. What a damn shame, man. So how old were you when you officially joined?
I was 1988. I was 12.
Okay, 12. So take me back to that day. What was going through your mind? You know, what actually happened? Did you get jumped in? You know, what happened that day?
Okay. The early part of that day, walking to school, I hear a whistle. First I hear, oh, hell no. I heard, I can't whistle, but I heard, and I just start seeing people coming from everywhere. I was thinking like, damn, I mean, my age, older. And they said, where you from? I said, I'm from Akron, Ohio. They said, where? I said, Akron, Ohio. They said, where the fuck is that at? I said, it's by Cleveland, Ohio. They said, oh, hell no, man. Hey, y'all, he ain't even from here, period. He ain't from California. He said, man, come here. He said, man, you know, he talked to me about, you know, what you don't wear around there and why. And, you know, later on, after talking to him and telling him about, you know, my problems I was having and how, you know, my cousin from Gray Street, you know, he got locked up. So, you know, my help was gone. You know, he locked up now. So basically they said, you know, all right, you a fighter about yours. You ain't, you you ain't no punk about it. So okay, we gonna help you. And they wasn't bullshitting. They helped me. They would help me. And then later on that night, you know, we kicking it, drinking, smoking, you know, and they said, "You ready for what we talked about earlier?" I said, "Yeah." Next thing I know, somebody hit me from my left, and then somebody else hit me, and I just started swinging. I know I hit somebody, and as soon as I hit that person, I got hit again, and I got hit so hard I got knocked into the person who had hit me on my left. And make a long story short, it went on for a while, and afterwards, I got lightweight pissed, you know, in the heat of it, and you know, they calming me down like, no, you one of us now, you family now, you know. So from that day forward, you know, I was Front Street Watch.
And when would you say you were most active?
Most active, 89, 90, and 91, as far as California. And when I came back to Ohio in 91, I was still active. I wasn't as wild because it's not as wild out here in Akron. So, yeah, my wildest years was 89, 90, and 91, especially 90 and 91.
Yeah. That was when it was, I think 92 in LA was when we had the most homicides, gang-related homicides as well, in the history of LA. I think we were up to like 2,500 homicides that year. And to give everybody out there a comparison, 2,500 back in 92, I think last year we had like 380 or something like that. So that's a huge jump, dog. I mean, it was really going down in those years.
Yes, it was. That's a humongous big difference. And yeah, you're right. The late 80s and early 90s, when you banged, if you survived to talk about it like I am now, and the other people you've interviewed, because I've seen your show, yeah, we all survived some shit. I mean, for real, man, it was hard.
Yeah.
Even
as a civilian, you mentioned something earlier that I want to bring up, but even as a civilian, like I was all my life, we couldn't wear certain clothes because it was affiliated with gangs. If I wanted to wear some British Nikes, I better not buy those motherfuckers, because even though I'm a civilian, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. You remember the BKs?
Yeah.
Schools banning Raider jackets.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah. You wore some British Nikes back there. Yeah, you better be ready to kill or die, one or the other. For real.
Yeah, I know. I
get real quick.
Yeah, my mom heard about that on the news, and she would not buy me British Nikes. She's like, no. And I was kind of a square or whatever, so I didn't really get it. I was like, no, I want British Nikes. She's like, no, motherfucker, they're killing people over these shoes.
Yeah, literally, yeah. Yeah, oh yeah, because if they see you and they see you in them, you may be a civilian or you might be the enemy. So in their mind, we're not gonna take a chance. We'll just get rid of you. You know, that was the mind state.
Yep.
You know, hit you up, and that's and I say hit you up. Everybody always didn't hit you up. Some of them just they'll shoot the shit out of you, and then worry about it later. Like, oh shit, he went in the game and oh well, he should have been wearing them damn shoes. That's it.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, man, it was different time, homie, different time. Starter jackets, none of that you could wear. It was a crazy, situation.
Woo, yeah. I've seen so many people took it right up off of them. Yeah, we'll take that. Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
Have them walking home cold without that coat on.
Yep, in November, just like, damn, I shouldn't have wore that jacket.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, my mom had bought me a black and red Pendleton. It collected dust in the closet. I'm trying to tell you. No.
Ain't happening, Mom. Yeah, I know Grandma would buy us stuff because they don't know what's up. So they would buy us shit at Christmas, and we take it out of the wrapper, and we're like, well, can't wear this. Let me set that aside. Can't wear that. It's this color. You're like, man. To this day, dog, I literally wear black and gray. That's the only color I wear is black and gray. It's just it's embedded in me now. 25 years later.
Hey, that's how serious it is. That's why I be trying to tell them out here. Like they can wear whatever out here, and they don't have nowhere near as many problems as we had out there. Yeah, you're right, man.
You can't be a
gray and black. That was you playing it smart.
Yep,
playing it wise.
NWA taught me that,
man. Man, yeah, you'll learn the hard way.
And the crazy thing is, you could legit be a sports fan. You know, I have cousins who come from Indiana and things like that, or, you know, from other parts of the country, and I'm like, you can't wear that hat. Just leave. I tell them just leave all sports hats at home, because no matter what sport, you can't wear a Houston Astros hat, you can't wear a Florida Marlins hat, you can't wear a Atlanta Braves hat, you can't even wear a damn LA Dodgers hat, man, because, you know, it's like, to this day, it's like that.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, your cap meant where you was from. You know, that was a way of you letting everybody know where you from. So a civilian trying to wear that, they don't know you're not from there. They got to take it like you are. You know. Yeah. And some of them knew you wasn't from there. They just fuck with your spirit just because, you know, they like, you ain't supposed to be having that over here. We don't get up with that, so you're not gonna wear it. Period.
Yeah. Now.
Yeah, you're right.
Nowadays, you know, gangsters kind of blend in. You know, they're wearing the fashion, you know, whatever the hottest fashion is, but they're Crippin' and blood. But, you know, they're wearing skinny jeans. They're wearing, you know, the latest dope ass tennis shoes. But back then, you knew a gangster when you saw a gangster. He had a certain look. He had a certain swag. He had his clothes were a certain way. Speaking of clothes, let's go back to 88, 89, 91, whatnot. What was the typical attire for an average Crip?
Khakis with the Chuck Taylors, you know, t-shirt, Pendleton. Yeah, we definitely wore a lot of. We wore anything blue, man, and I'll say this: shoestrings. You know, you get your blue shoestrings. That way, you make sure you know you're representing. Even, let me see what else. You know, always Dickies. Dickies was always the shit.
Yep, oversized Dickies, 10 size bigger.
Yeah. That was our uniform. You know.
And they had to be creased up, right? They had to be creased up, standing.
Yes.
If you could stand them in the corner, you were a G.
They could stand in the corner by themselves. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Yes, indeed. With the heavy starch. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
What a time, dude.
Yes, indeed. You're right.
Yeah. Let's kind of stay in this era. This is the era I was coming up in, you know, but once again, I was a civilian. I was on the outside looking in. And 1988, this movie called Colors comes out. And I wanted to see this movie with everything in me. But once again, my mom's like, nope, ain't happening. She's watching the news stories, hearing about the shit that's going on at the movie theaters and things like that. She's like, no, it ain't happening. I even tried to, like, on the side, ask my stepdad, can you take me real quick? Just we'll say we're going to the beach or something like that. He was like, no. So long story short, I had to wait for it to come out to VHS, you know, before I got to see it. But when I watched it, I was like, oh, shit, this looks like exactly where I live. And it was a trip. Seeing that, I'm like, I never saw anything like that. I'm like, that literally looks like my block, you know, because I was living in Long Beach at that time. But how important do you think movies like Colors were to spreading gangs across the country?
Oh, very much. It made the whole world aware of us, you know, because they had no idea what we were going through out there. And when Colors hit the screen, then they knew, you know. And it's funny you mentioned Colors because living in LA, I never got to see the damn movie because every time we get in there, something would jump off. We had to hurry up and get out of there.
There it is.
So I didn't actually get to see the full movie till 1990. I came to Akron for the summer, for summer vacation.
Peaceful ass.
Yeah, ain't that some shit? I could never. Twice? We tried to see it twice. After that, I stopped trying because both times, you know, hell broke loose.
Damn.
And a couple other times we didn't even get in the damn theater and it jumped off. So yeah, I just gave up on that. I just waited till came out here and I finally got to see the whole movie.
speaking of Akron, what is the gangbanging scene like out there?
You got a little bit of everybody here. You got Crips here, you got Bloods here, you got Pyrus here, you got some of the Chicago gangs, GDs and Vice Lords here. It's a big mixing pot here, and they got a lot of they mix shit up a little bit here. They got everything confused. When I came out here, I started setting them straight. They were mixing Crips and folks and mixing Vice Lords and Bloods, and I had to let them all know, no, we're all completely different. They had a misconception out here.
And yes, okay.
I've ran into a lot of gang members here though that are from LA, and they got family out here, so most of them like me, they wanted to get them away from the gang, so they move them out here. And then out here, we don't stop. Like we said, don't stop till the cash is dropped. So the only difference is out here, it was nowhere near as bad.
Damn.
Yeah.
So you were there in '91, pretty much schooling people on what it was like coming from the land and the real, because there was back in the day,
right.
From what I understand, is it the folks aligned with the Crips? I hope I'm not messing that up.
Say that again.
Was it the folks that were aligning with the Crips and you said or explain that again?
Right. They were mixing it. They were mixing folk with Crip and mixing Vice Lords with Bloods, and I had to let them know, okay, that's fine what y'all doing here, but you go to LA with that, and y'all gonna have some problems, because that's not keep that separate. If y'all want to be cool with each other, that's cool. I ain't got nothing wrong with that, but don't mix that shit up. They were, it was wild, and it wasn't until years later other people from LA came out here and they heard the same thing from them. Then they're like, "Oh, you was right. Yeah, I was right. I was trying to tell y'all from 1991 when I first came out here." So yeah, it's very different here, and and like I said, I've ran into quite a few real Crips here, real Bloods here, real Pyrus.
And who are some of the gangs that we would recognize out here in LA that are in Akron?
That's in Akron.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot of Long Beach 20s Crips, Rolling 60 Crips. You got some Hoovers here. There's a couple of cats here from East Coast. Met a guy from Kitchen Crip. Let's see. Who else? Playboy Gangster. There's a few of them here. Real ones from out west. West Side Mafia Crip. That's Pomona. There's a guy here from there. My cousin, Trey 57. That's Pomona, same town. Let me see who else. I think I named everybody.
Okay. What about the Mexican gang?
Yeah, and then none of that out here. Definitely none. Okay. It's some Bloods out here and some Pyrus out here.
Oh, okay.
There was some Treetop Pyrus that was here. I'm not sure if they're still here or not. I met a dude from the east side of Compton. He was a Pyru. I can't remember what city he was from. Let me see. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay, I mean, it's pretty much popping out there from what it sounds like.
Oh yeah. Like I said, it's a few real ones here, and then there's some wannabes here too. And a lot of those wannabes are the ones that, like I said, they was trying to mix it. And I'm like, nah, you can't do that. You go back out in LA talking that, and you will get hurt. Yeah.
Let me ask you, what do you think the number one reason is that kids join gangs?
The number one reason, I'll say it like this: the reasons I would think the number one reason is because living out there, and like I said, you keep having them coming through your neighborhood shooting. You know, you want to be a part of the people who go do something about that. And gang members are looked up to because they're the stand-up guys. You know, those are the guys that ain't going to sit down. They standing up for the neighborhood. They standing up for their turf. They standing up for their set. You know, and that's admired. You know, and me, especially coming from my family background, my dad was a fighter. My uncles were fighters. All his brothers. So they reminded me of my dad and my uncles. You know, some of the stories I heard about them, that's what these cats was doing. You know, because they wasn't always shooting. You know, I seen some good fights where, you know, right, went with the hands, even late 80s. You know,
yeah.
and that the number one reason is because you want to belong to somebody that's standing up for themselves. You know, because that's rare.
Okay.
Especially back then, that was very rare. And so, like I said, you know, they were looked up to. So that's what, you know, some children wanted to be like Michael Jordan. Some wanted to be like Magic Johnson. I wanted to be like Big T-Bone. You know, that's who I wanted to be like. I heard stories about him and some of the other big homies. I wanted to be like them. I didn't want to be like Michael Jordan. You know, I didn't want to be like Magic Johnson. You know, I wanted to be like them because that was TV. These was real life in my face, reality. So
yeah,
there's a big difference. I think to this day, that's why the reason. Probably to this day, you know, you look up to that power, to that stand-up guys. They don't take no shit. You know.
Who were some of your OGs who you looked up to back then?
Like I just mentioned, you know, Big T-Bone. Oh man, Sleepy, Pookie. There was so many of us. Burdock. Oh man, Snoop. Oh man, there was so many. And you gotta excuse me. I'm getting old.
Oh, I'm
my
right
memory
there with you, my dude.
Messed up.
Born in '78, homie. I heard you say '76 earlier.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hey,
you say you was born in '78?
Yes, I'm right there with you, man. If you could put a number on it, how many friends and family would you say you've lost to the gang life, whether it be by death, by jail, prison, or whatever, you know, by drugs? If you could put a number on it.
How many that I knew?
That you've lost, yeah, personally.
Oh man. Whew. Man, the pen to prison, all I gotta say, I don't have enough fingers. And death, once again, I don't have enough fingers. And that's not just Front Street. You know, other gang members from other sets that I was cool with, you know, that I shot hoops with, or they came and watched my fight, you know. Yeah. Too many. I've been to funerals where the funeral got disrespected by the rivals, you know.
Like shot up.
That's why shot up. I've been to funerals where I guess what they would probably call suicide mission come in and all that. You know, it was bad. It was fucked up, man. It wasn't good at all.
Damn.
Yeah.
How did you survive?
The only thing I can say is it just wasn't my time, you know, because it's been plenty of times I've been shot at, and I've never, you know, got hit with a bullet where I had to go to the hospital or anything. You know, I've been jumped multiple times. It just wasn't my time. It seriously wasn't my time. I mean, even out there and out here, because, I almost died out here too. When I was 18 in '94, I got jumped real bad by some guys over on the east side, which is where most of the Bloods in Akron are at. And I got jumped really bad. Like, I had my head stomped to the point where they had to take pieces of my skull off my brain, stop the internal bleeding, and stitch and staple my head back together. I was supposed to have multiple seizures. I didn't have none. And when I told the doctor that during one of my visits, he looked at me like I was crazy and looked at my mom like she was crazy. And she shook her head like, yeah, he has none. He called me a walking miracle.
Jesus Christ.
He was from India somewhere. I shook that man's hand and hugged him about 4 or 5 times.
Wow, saved your life, huh?
Oh yeah,
man.
Yeah, it was crazy. It was crazy to leave from LA, from all that, and survive all that, and then come here and almost die.
And it happened like that in Akron. Damn.
Right. Yeah.
It's like a soldier going to war in Afghanistan, and then coming back home and surviving that, but then coming back home and somebody shoots him in a liquor store robbery.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was a wake up call for me. That's when I slowly started trying to change my thinking, and by '96, I really, really started changing my thinking.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you a hypothetical question for my last question for you. If you could talk to an 11-year-old you who is right there putting his tippy toe in the gang life and about to jump fully in, hypothetically, what would you tell him?
It's funny you ask that, because I do a lot of mentoring to young gang members, and I don't care if they're Crips or Bloods or Pyrus. I would tell them, like I told them Bloods over there on the north side about, I want to say about 15 years ago. I know what y'all doing, but this ain't what's up, because ain't no future in this. The future of this is either death or a jail cell. And you're going to have a lot of friends. You're going to lose a lot of friends, and it's going to make you more bitter, and it just ain't worth it. Stay your butt in school, and stay away from this. And if you just going to just jump into it, you don't want to listen to me and all that, all right, then at least do this. Be careful and don't start nothing with nobody. If they started, then I understand. You got to defend yourself. Other than that, nah. Don't indulge in this, because there's nothing but bad involved in this. And I mean, don't get me completely wrong. I will tell them, like, it is love in this, because I'm 44 and I'm still Front Street Watch. You know what I'm saying? For the love and the loyalty. Yeah, you can have love and loyalty without killing somebody who look like you, because he ain't from your set. He ain't gotta be from your set. As long as he ain't did nothing wrong to you personally, or nobody you love personally, then leave it alone. And even if you lost somebody because of that, getting them back bring them back, and it's about to cause you more problems, and you might not be here. That would be my message. That's the same message I had to them young Bloods over there on the north side, and some young Crips over on the west side. Same message. And I damn near said it almost identical in both situations.
Yeah. Well, Pistol, I appreciate you sharing your story, and also appreciate the work that you do with these young kids, because Lord knows they need it. They're so misguided, and it's very important that people like you are out there. So I wish you the best of luck in that. Is there anything that you want to promote, give a shout out to? The floor is yours, my man.
Okay. I appreciate that. All I want to say is, to any young person that's listening to this, if you hearing this, take heed to what I'm saying. I live this. And I've been around a lot of people who live this, and all of our stories ain't happy. we had our good times. Yeah, we had a lot of hard times too. And I'm only here because I'm supposed to be here, probably to do what I'm doing right now.